Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Allahumma anfa'na bima 'allamtana wa 'allimna ma yanfa'una wa zidna 'ilma. Subhanaka Allahumma la 'ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Allahumma arhamna bil Qur'an waj'alil Qur'ana hujjatan lana wa la hujjatan 'alaina. Amin ya rabbal alamin. Alhamdulillah, brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, we hope you are doing well and had a great holiday. So since last year, our last session was like about 2 months ago, like before in 2020. So I hope you are doing well, and I hope you still remember whatever we have discussed in this course. Inshallah, we'll do a quick review before we carry on with the next topic, inshallah. And today topic, inshallah, about the rules of med. Anyone remember what was the topic, the previous topic? This is session 9. What was the topic on session 8? Anyone remember? Maybe on the Zoom, or anyone here? I'll just quickly check the chat. So last time was aqsamul med, or the types of med. Inshallah, we'll review that. And before we start, let us begin. Hold on, let me just. Sorry, bear with me. Yeah, before we start, let us begin in the name of Allah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And inshallah, so alhamdulillah, we have completed 8 sessions. So inshallah, we'll aiming for 3 more sessions, which is today, the 9th, and the 10th, mad lazim, and then inshallah khatimah, closing. And don't forget to fill out the quizzes. If you haven't submit your quiz, even on the first, second quiz, it doesn't matter. You can do it anytime. You can do. You can repeat as much as you like. And inshallah, at the end of the session, at the end of the last session, we'll give away 2 Quran translations, one for sister and one for the brother, inshallah, as posted in the group. So let us, inshallah, today's agenda. Just let me check the chat. Inshallah, today's agenda will be reviewing the previous sessions, just a quick review on all of the 8 sessions briefly, and then we touch on the rules of med, ahkamul med. So if you still remember, if we recall the first session, when one of the first session we discussed about al-mabadi al-ashra. al-Mabadi al-Ashra. We discuss what is tajweed, what is uh, what's the definition of tajweed, what are the virtues of learning tajweed, and so on in the first session. If you forgot, you can review in the YouTube or on the slides. But did touch on we did touch on tartil. So as per in the Quran, Surah al-Muzammil, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا, and read or recite the Quran with tartil, slowly, or like tartil the Quran in the most tartil way. So, but what is tartil? And if we've discussed this, we've covered this previously, according to Sahaba Ali radiallahu anh, الترتيل هو تجويد الحروف ومعرفة الوقوف. Tartil is tajweedul huruf, is to tajweed the huruf, is to recite the letters with tajweed. So I underline that, and observing the rules of waqaf and stopping and starting. So tajweed is one thing, waqaf is a different thing. It's like it's on its own knowledge, on its own science. It's not really part of the tajweed itself, like it's a separate science. And in terms of tajweed, so maybe before that, so tartil in high level, tartil is tajweed plus waqaf and ibtida. So by learning tajweed itself, we haven't, if we don't know how to start or stop, we haven't really do or recite the Quran in tartil way if we don't know where to stop and where to start our recitation. So tajweed is like 50% tartil. And tajweed, if you still remember from the first session, the definition is tajweed إخراج كل I'll just quickly read the Arabic. إخراج كل حرف من مخرجه مع إعطائه حقه ومستحقه. إخراج كل حرف is to recite, is to pronounce كل حرف, every letters, من مخرجه, from مخرج, from the, what's مخرج is exit points, articulation points. So makhraj is articulation points, exit points, pronunciation points. مع إعطائه حقه ومستحقه, and to give the haqq, to give the sifat, whether it's permanent or temporary. And as part of Tuhfatul al-Atfal, we only touch partial of the sifat, of the temporary characteristic. We not even touch the actual the permanent sifat or the mahraj. But if you still remember on the seventh session, when we discussed about idgham between letters like mislain, mutaqaribain, mutajanisain, we did discuss a little bit, a high level, what is makhraj in general, what is sifat in general, so that when we talk about idgham, we know what is the context. And inshallah, as you can see, Tuhfatul al-Atfal, actually, if we like divide in a high level, it's covering like nun sakina, mim sakina, tanween, like we've discussed the roles of nun sakina, mim sakina, and so on the green side. And the other like 50% is about mad, the 50% about mad, the types of mad, the roles of mad, and last one is the types of mad. So inshallah, like we're nearly there. Inshallah, we'll nearly there. And just to review the previous session, so we've just touched starting from Nun sakina, nun sakina. One of the first topic is nun sakina. How many rules in nun sakina? Ahkamu nuni sakina wa tanween. There are four. So there are four rules: idhar, idgham, iqlab, ikhfa. That's the high level. Idhar means to read. Idhar as in linguistically means clear. So as in the nun sakina or the tanween sound, like the n sound, uh, the n sounds clear. So that's idhar. The second one is idgham. Idgham means to enter, to merge, to enter, to merge, as in to merge the sukun letter with the harakat letter, so they become one. Inserting a sword into the cover. Iqlab, to change the nun into mim, and ikhfa, that is to hide, to conceal, to cover the nun sakina in a way that it's pronounced between idgham and idhar. That's ikhfa for in nun sakina. And then the next topic was mim sakina, the rules of mim sakina. How many rules are there? Three. Yeah. With ahkamu mim sakina, the three: ikhfa, idgham, and idhar. فالأول الإخفاء والثاني إدغام والثالث الإظهار. And we also discussed the lam sakina, حكم اللام al wa lam الفعل. There are two, in terms of lam al, there are two rules, إظهار and إدغام. إظهار, also called قمرية, letters of alif lam قمرية and شمسية. And after that was the mithlain, mutaqaribain, mutajanisain. So maybe this one is a bit, you need to remember the detail, like the meaning. Mithlain, if it's same makhraj, same sifa, that's mithlain. If it's close, and makhraj is close, it's mutqarib, close, mutaqaribain, but different sifat. And if it's same in makhraj and different in sifat, it's mutajanisain. To be able to read, maybe you don't really need to really memorize the like the terms, but it's still beneficial. But if you are going to teach someone, of course, it's better that you understand all of this, including the theory. Then last time on the previous session, we have discussed about the types of mad, aqsamul mad, the types of mad. So if the mad, types of mad, aqsamul mad lazim, aqsamul mad, there are two. So mad is essentially, it's a long vowel. A long vowel is mad. So one haraka or the default is short vowel, like a, I, u, ba, bi, bu. That's one harakat or short vowel. But if it's long, like a, ba, ta, that's, you stretch a bit. That's called mad or long vowels. And we discussed last time there are two types of mad: aqsamul mad, للمد أصلي and فرعي. Mad asli and mad far'i. Inshallah, we'll review later this a bit. And today we're going to touch mad far'i. And inshallah, we'll touch mad far'i today. And just before we carry on, we review the actual mad. need to remember about harakat and sakina, because inshallah we're going to touch harakat and sakina. But just to do a quick review, harakat means movements, but in tajweed, as in it's the vowel marks, like the a, e, u. That's the vowel marks. That's harakat. But also when you you need to stretch, you need to lengthen the mad. The unit is called harakat, like one harakat, two harakat. That's also called harakat. And a is fathah, e kasrah, u dhamma, or for our friends in, I think in Indo-Pak, in India or Pakistan, normally call this like zabar, zer, or pesh, I think. Yeah, but it's essentially the same thing. Inshallah, we're going to use the fathah, kasrah, dhamma as the terms, not the zabar, zer, or pesh. But if you know about that, that's the equivalent of it. That's harakat. And sukun or sakina means if it's there's no harakat, and that's sukun or sakina. And last time we discussed, so that's naninu with harakat, and that's without harakat. And short vowels, long vowels, like as I'm, if you still remember, I mentioned in previous session, like in Maori language, there's long vowels like a, e, u. That's like two counts, or two harakat in Arabic. That's mad. Essentially, it's to lengthen the sound. That's mad. So this is from Google Translate. Mad is like extension. And the mad asli, or mad natural mad, is two harakats. So how to count the two? You can use your fingers. For example, like if you say, let's say you say ba, if you, that's one harakat. Ba, 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 that's one harakat. But two harakat, ba, ba, like malikiya, maliki. That's two harakat. That's with your fingers. Maliki. So maybe let's, uh, yeah, like this one. Kana, yakunu, qila, maliki. So if you still remember, the mad asli, or the natural mad, is when alif, when fathah followed by alif, dhamma followed by waw sukun, ya, kasra followed by ya sukun. And this is also a mad. This is also mad. A small alif, or in Indo-Pak, it's like a standing alif, or in this is in Medina script, and this is on in Indo-Pak script. Lahuma, lahuma, bihi ain, bihi ain. So that's matter. So inshallah, hopefully that you know about, you have refreshed yourself about natural mat. You can identify, oh, that is natural mat, or that is mat asli. We read with two harakat. So that's just to do a quick review on natural mat or mat asli. Any question before we touch the next topic? Any question? So for anyone in the Zoom, can you guys, can everyone follow me? Can you hear me all right? Maybe you can reply to chat or reply in audio. Yes, alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Okay, that's natural mat, which we have discussed previously. Now let's touch mad far'i, or the like secondary mad. In high level, there are like three rules: wajib, jaiz, lazim. We're going to touch that later in details. That's just the high level. And I'm going to read the quickly read uh, the the uh, the verses from Tuhfatul al-Atfal بأسانيد المتصل إلى الشيخ محمد إلى الشيخ سليمان الجمزوري رحمه الله تعالى. أحكام المد للمد أحكام ثلاثة تدوم، وهي الوجوب والجواز واللزوم. فواجب إن جاء همز بعد مد في كلمة وذا بمتصل يعد، وجائز مد وقصر إن فصل كل بكلمة وهذا المنفصل. ومثل ذا إن عرض السكون وقفا كتعلمون نستعين، أو قدم الهمز على المد وذا بدل كآمنوا وإيمنا خذا، ولازم إن السكون أصلا وصلا ووقفا بعد مد طولا. Inshallah, those are the six verses of six lines from the poem on mad. So start from so start from the first. Lil madi ahkamun thalathatun tadum. For mad, there are three rules, which is the three. Wahyal wujubu, jawazu, waluzum. Wajib, jaiz, and lazim. So wajib, like obligatory, as in like we obligatory to stretch more than two harakat to do a mad. Jaiz means like permissible or optional, because some ulama, some scholar of tajweed, some allow uh, to not stretch like only two harakat, but others like in house in Shatibiyah we need to stretch four or five, and lazim is necessary, but lazim we're not going to touch today. So today only wajib and jaiz. So this one, it is mad wajib if hamzah appear after mad in one word, and this is called muttasil. So if you have came across mad muttasil, muttasil means connected. Mad muttasil means connected mad. It's not how it's being written, but the word is connected. It doesn't matter how it's written, whether it's written connected or not, but the word is a one connected word. So for example, in here, إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. So according to House, by way of Shatibiyah, mad muttasil is 4 or 5 harakat. So you can read with 4 or 5 harakat. How to count 4 or 5? As I mentioned, you can use your fingers. According to ulama, you can use your fingers, the scholar of tajweed. So for example, إذا جاء نصر الله, or if you want to read 5, إذا جاء نصر الله. So that's how you count 4 or 5. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. So maybe you can repeat after me. I'll read once, then you can read after me. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. So that's how you count the harakat. And once you get used to it, you don't need to once you get used to it, you don't use your fingers anymore. Like you know the feelings. Oh, that's 4 harakat, or that's 5 harakat. And if you notice here, can you notice which one So so mad muttasil is mad followed by hamzah in one word. Mad followed by hamzah in one word. What is mad? So maybe just to review, just go back again. So mad is any of this. So if fathah followed by alif, waw followed by dhamma, sorry, dhamma followed by waw, uh, kasrah followed by ya, or in any of these signs, and then after that followed by hamza, and after that there's a hamza, and the hamza is in one word. So ja'a means came or appeared. Ja'a, that's one word. So as I mentioned, you don't, it doesn't, connected doesn't mean the it's being written as connected, but the word is connected like one word. That's muttasil, and the rules is wajib. The rules name is wajib. So mad muttasil, 4 or 5 harakat. And that's just a different, the top one is a Medina script, and the bottom one is on Indo-Pak script. And just to, for your knowledge, so that sign is actually a mad sign. So it used to be, so it used to be mim and dal, mad. So like this is mad. So this is like from old script, they put a mad on top of it, mad, and along the way, it's evolving. Remove the, like the meme, it only becomes like the tail of the meme plus dal, like this one, and again evolving again becomes just like the, like this, yeah, the tail and the beginning of dal. So that is mud science. It's not an eyebrow or something. It's a mud sign. Okay. So if you see a mud sign, so that's called a mud sign. Mud sign. That's a mud sign. And that's if you have one in one word. So this is another example. إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف. So can you see that's the mad sign, and the hamza is actually as part of one word. It's not a different word. So the hamza is part of ashita'i. Ashita, the hamza is part of that word. Okay, so that's called mad muttasil or connected mad. Connected mad. And just to compare with the other mad munfasil, which is disconnected mad, as in the mad and the hamza, they are disconnected words. They are two different words. So the previous one, it's one word. Sorry. Ja'a is one word. Ashita'i is one word. But this one, inna a'toina. So a'toina is different word. So it's a bit tricky. Maybe I'll give you another example. This one maybe it's a bit easier. La a'budu. La, that's one word. La can stand on itself, one word. La a'budu, that's a different word. La and a'budu. So the hamza is belongs on the next, on the other word. The mad lam and alif, that's on different word. So there are two different words. That's mad munfasil. In if it's you're reading in Indo-Pak script, you won't see the hamza sign, but all alif with like this one, all alif with the vowel marks, alif with fatah, alif is with kasra. That's essentially it's a hamza. It's a hamza. And in house shatibiyah, same munfasil. Munfasil means disconnected. Yeah. So muttasil connected, munfasil disconnected. So the disconnected munfasil and muttasil, same you would read in Shatibiyah, four harakat or five harakat, 4 or 5 harakat. So 4 or 5 harakat. So that's why if you think this is quite like oh, it's quite tricky to know which one is munfasil, which one is muttasil. If you want to read the Quran, it's quite simple that you don't have to differentiate between the two, which one is muttasil, which one is munfasil, unless you want to learn more or unless you are teaching to someone, or unless you want to read in other qira'ah, other styles, other variations of the Quran, because in variations of reading, because in other variations, the mad munfasil, mad which is jaiz, that can be read with 2 harakat. With 2 harakat, but the wajib in 4 harakat. So if you want to mix that, let's say jaiz 2 harakat, sorry, munfasil 2 harakat, muttasil 4 harakat. When you want to do that, that means you need to know which one is munfasil, which one is muttasil. But if you want to read everything with the same harakat, let's say with 4, then you don't really need to differentiate between the two. As long as there is a mad sign, as long there's a mad sign, then that's just read with four harakat, 4 harakat or 5 harakat. But inshallah, 4 is easier because it's more common when you read other mad. Inshallah, we'll touch later, like mad arid lisukun. You can read with 4, so everything will 4, 4, 4. You don't, so you only need to read 1 harakat, 2 harakat, 4 harakat, and maybe lazim 6. And so let's like this one in like 4 harakat, inna a'tayna la a'budu. If you want to read 5, inna a'tayna, just 1 harakat, like 1 count more. It's a bit tricky. That's why most of my ustad, most of my teachers prefer, like, recommend to read with 4 because it's easier, inshallah. And so that's mad munfasil. So the la and a'budu, there are 2 different words. And so like this one, if you read wasl, if you read continuously, like you want to continue this one, it becomes sanuqri'uka fala tansa. You read 4 harakat, fala tansa illa ma sha Allah. So this one you would read with 4. But if you want to stop here, do you know if you stop here, فَلَا تَنْسَى, do you read with mad munfasil with 5 harakat or no? If you
Two.
stop here,
Two.
no.
Two. Two.
Why? If you stop there, why you don't read?
Because different hukum.
Yeah, because as you remember, mad munfasil is when the mad meets or after the mad followed by hamza. And if you stop here, there's no hamza anymore, right? If you stop there, there's no hamza. So that's why the hamza is on the next. You don't read there, so it's you stop here. That means there's no hamza. So that's why you don't read with mad munfasil with mad. So even if you notice the like the mad sign, but you need to know at least, oh, if you stop there, so that sign like fala tansa, that mad sign is actually you would read that if you continuously you carry on with your reading fala tansa illa. So if you read continuously, then you would read with mad munfasil. But if you stop فلا تنسى, just two harakat, because there's no hamza if you stop there, inshallah. Do you know what's right? Just dari? It's from al-a'la. So uh, in my in Indo-Pak, it's actually more. They have quite a little bit different sign. If you, as you can see, this one is mad muttasil. The mad sign is a bit bold, but the munfasil is a bit thin. But in Medina script, it's they are the same. Okay, and any questions so far? No. Maybe I'll give you another one. So this one, even like this one, haula. So if you don't know the actual word, they look that like they seems connected, but they're actually not. They're actually two. So this one, ha and ula, they're two words. So it's munfasil. Ha and ula, that's a different word, but the way it is written, like it seems connected. Same like this one, ya Adam. So it's ya and Adam, but because how alif written after ya, it's like written connected. It seems connected, but it is not. So they are two different words. Like it disconnected, it's munfasil. So as I mentioned, if you like to differentiate, you may need to know the Arabic meaning. But if you don't know Arabic, like you're just starting and just want to read with tajweed, just follow the signs and just follow as long as there's mad sign, whether it's munfasil or muttasil, those two, just read with consistently 4 harakat or consistently 5 harakat. But as I mentioned, 4 inshallah will be easier for harakat. Oh, I think I'll want to show one thing. Hold on. Okay, and last time there was a question about mad'i wad. So how to stop if there's this one, alima, aliman. The word is aliman, but when we want to stop there, it's called mad aliwad, which means to substitute. You, you replace the double fathah or fathatain with alif, with alif. So with one and alif. So alima, as if you would read like this. Aliman. Then you, if you stop there, alima ahada, not ahadan, ahada. This one as well. Nisa. So even if there's no alif, still you would read as if like this one. Nisa. Nisa. Or this one. Dua. So so the trick or the thing that you need to notice is the fatatain. It's not whether there's an alif on the at the end of the word or not, but it's the fatatain. If there's a fatatain, you want to stop there, then uh, re, uh, replace with one fatha plus alif. So alima, ahada, nisaa, du'a. But in here, illa bi illa bima sha. You don't read the because that's not for that time. It's just single. Illa bima sha. And put a bit pressure on at the end. If you still remember from one of think the last two session before this, we discussed a little bit about nabar, which means like a pressure. So you put a pressure a bit. Illa bima sha. That's to so that you can notice the hamza. If you don't put the pressure, let's say you just read illa bima sha, as if you remove the hamza. But if you put a pressure a bit at the end, be illa bima sha. So maybe I'll read and you follow after me. Illa bima sha. Illa bima
بما
sha.
شاء.
Just put a little bit pressure. Same this one. Can repeat after me. Amana sufaha. Amana sufaha.
لا.
Okay. Uh, any question so far? Can you follow? Yeah. All right. So that's my. Let me. If anyone on the Zoom, if you have any question, you can unmute or you can put on the chat. Inshallah. Now let me just double check again. Okay. Yeah, that's mad. Yeah, that's mad muttasil and munfasil. So both munfasil and muttasil, both in Shatibiyah, you would read with 4 harakat or 5 harakat. And if you don't know the difference between the two, that's fine as long as you read them consistently, 4 and 5, 4 or 5. What else? So, and yeah, if you, what else? Think, yeah, if you stop with munfasil, even if you notice the mad sign, see whether the like the alif or the hamza is part of that word or not. If it's not part of that word and you stop there, that means you remove the mad, like only two harakat mad asli. And for mad iwad, replace fatatain with single fatah plus alif, except on ta marbutoh or the round ta. So in the round ta, like this one, you don't read washajarata, but you would read washajarah. You replace the round ta with ha. Washajarah. Jannah. It's not jannata, but jannah. So that's just an exception for ta marbutah on fatatain. Ta marbutah around ta. That's okay. So that's mad munfasil and mad muttasil. Mad munfasil, mad muttasil, and the next one is mad arid lis sukun or mad temporary sukun. So what does it mean by temporary sukun? So when you want to stop, so in this, sorry, which, so there's a question, which type of Quran? There's a question, which type of Quran would you recommend to read? Because now so many type of Quran use the Madinah style, but still there are difference. Is the color code Quran good for young learners who just started reading the Quran? Yeah, I would say yes, and especially if you, I think depends where you come from. If you use the Indo-Pak one, let's think. Like Quran. So if you use uh, the Indo-Pak one or the Urdu, uh, Indo-Pak script, to me maybe it's a bit. If you don't know Tajweed, maybe it's a bit harder, especially when you about nun, the rules in nun sakina or mim sakina. There's not much sign. So in this one is Indo-Pak, which like a more bold. Yeah, it's a bit thick in terms of the font. So this is just according to my personal and some of my ustads say maybe the disadvantage of this one, like without the color coding, the tajweed, you don't really know, if you don't know enough, you don't know the rules, especially nun sakina, mim sakina, ikhfa. You don't know whether should we read with ikhfa or in the long or iqlab and others, because you don't, there's not much sign. Yeah, like this one. Sorry, maybe maybe on the last page, like go chapter. Let's say this one in sorry. Let's say like this. So وَمِن شَرِّ مَا. So that's, if you still remember, وَمِن شَرِّ مَا. Nun sakina followed by ikhfa letters. we would read with ikhfa, but here you need to know, oh, that's the letter of ikhfa, so you need to read with ikhfa. With the color coded, it will help you because it will have a mark with on the color that we read as ikhfa. That's with Indo-Pak. But the advantage in Indo-Pak is if you want to know which one is mad muttasil, which one is mad munfasil, then they put a difference. The munfasil have a thinner line, the muttasil have a bold line. And just to compare with sorry. And just to compare with the Medina one. Sorry. Just to compare with the Medina one, or maybe let's use this one. And while still waiting, the loading, to me, it depends. Follow your teacher, and if your teacher use uh, um, the Medina Mus'haf, try to use that because like the explanation and all the marks, the vowel marks, will you can sync with your teacher. If your teacher used the Indo-Pak, follow that. If your teacher used Medina, follow that. But if you don't have any preference and you're just starting, uh, I would say use the Medina because it's easier if you don't know much about Tajweed because it's like embedded. Let me just compare again that one. Anas, Al-Falaq, sorry, should be Al-Falaq. So this one in Medina Mus'haf, if it's an ikhfa or there's some tajweed in it, it's not idhar, then the nun sakinah will there's no sakinah sign like this one. Min sharri ma, like you don't need to know that is an ikhfa uh, or idgham or whatever. But you know when you found a uh, nun without that mark, without the sakina sukun sound, you know there's something about it, and you know, oh, that must be ikhfa, without really knowing the actual uh, letters. But if it's uh, and same with the tanween, also there are difference. I can summarize this maybe on the chat, the difference between the two script. But if you're just starting, I'll say use the Medina Mus'haf because if you don't have the color coded, you can still follow, you can still read with Tajweed if you know the tips. But in Indo-Pak, like if you don't know the Tajweed and there's no color, it's a bit hard because you really need to know every letters, the rules in whether ikhfa, idgham, and others. Like you need to really know. And same with the mad, maybe like mad wajib or mad muttasil, mad munfasil. Like the hamza, there's no in the pak, the hamza sign is not written, so it can be a bit tricky. Hope that's yeah. And so the idea is that choose which one that's easier for you to read, like to read, so you don't need to think, you can read. And uh, in my experience and according to my ustad, the Madina Mus'haf, inshallah, it's easier, inshallah. I hope that's answer the question, and I'll just take a note. I'll put a summary on that. Inshallah. Is there any more question? Just how to read on toy sign. How to read on toy sign? I don't know what is toy sign. Toy sign. Maybe uh, if you can send us on the group about the sign that you're referring. Inshallah, we'll answer in the group. Inshallah. Okay, maybe one more. Inshallah, it's time. Most time. So one more in the mad, but mad arid lissukun. Mad arid lissukun. Mad arid lissukun. Temporary sukun. So this one. ومثل ذا إن أراد السكون وقفا كتعلمون تعلمون نستعين. So تعلمون نستعين. Those are the two examples of the word. So if you stop there, let's say this one. قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون. لا تعلمون. So you don't read لا تعلمون. So you replace the fatha into a sukun. So that's what arid li sukun or temporary sukun means. So when you stop, so arid li sukun is the sukun that is placed temporarily on a letter with harakat like this one. In the case when you stop there, when you waqaf there, you put a sukun. Replace fatha with sukun. This one, dhamma, nasta'in. Nasta'inu, you replace with sukun when you stop there. Unless you wasal iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'inu hdina, then you would read the dhamma. But if you stop there, nasta'in become a sukun. And that is, if you notice, there's a mad. So, like this one, muna, dhamma, followed by waw sukun. Dhamma, followed by waw sukun. And this one is kasra, followed by ya sukun. That's the mad. And mad followed by temporary sukun. So mad followed by plus temporary sukun. That becomes mad arid lis sukun. Mad arid lis sukun. You can read 2 harakat, 4 harakat, or 6 harakat. Maybe so if you read 2 harakat, wa iyyaka nasta'in. وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. You can use your fingers. وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. If you read 4, وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. If you read 6, وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. That's the option, but you must read consistently. And inshallah, 4 is easier for because if you choose 4, then mad arid li sukun you would use 4, mad muttasil 4, mad munfasil 4. It's all the same. So it you don't need to think much. Just use 4 on everything. Inshallah, that's because there's options, and that's inshallah that's easier, and I would say that's more practical. Like if you listen to most of the Quran recitation, would use that 4 muttasil, 4 munfasil, and 4 mad arid lis sukun. Unless maybe if you read inshallah in 2 months uh, we'll see Ramadan, inshallah. And if you want to read like more quickly, then yes, you can use choose to nasta'in. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. So like الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. That's two harakat. I think there's
What more?
no, no, my phone. I forget my phone. There's a chat on the question in the WhatsApp, but inshallah it's okay. We'll check later.
Mutafat.
Um, that's mad arid lis sukun. So if you read two harakat, wa iyyaka nasta'in. If you read four, wa iyyaka nasta'in. Six, wa iyyaka nasta'in. So maybe we can. Sorry. Just a moment. Okay. There's a question about the sign. Twist sign. Maybe okay. That thought is it thought sign that. So there's a question about how to read the thought sound. I think. Let me just. Let me just. There's a question how to read thought sign maybe. So I think in the Urdu or Indo-Pak script, we just open. Oops, oops, um, let me just I think there was a question how to read the thoughts of I think thought sign. If you're referring to this one, like the small thought, I think, yeah, the small thought, that's a waqaf sign in Medina script. There's no that sign is not common. Like there's no thought sign. I'll have I'll double check what that means. What does thought in waqaf? Let me just grab my book. Oh, inshallah, that's okay. Inshallah, I'll answer in the group. But yeah, that's if you're referring to that small thought, that is a waqaf sign. That's a waqaf sign. So if you want to stop there, where it's recommended to stop or continue, or recommended to wasal to continue, I'll need to double check because I'm not too familiar with the Indo-Pak waqaf signs. Inshallah, I'll double check and let you know. And just any other. No. Okay. So just a little bit before we close. So that's mad arid lis sukun. Mad for temporary sukun. Temporary sukun. 2, 4, or 6. But inshallah, if you choose 4, it's easier. And maybe let's read this one. Let's practice together. I'll read once, and you follow after me. And I will read the munfasil muttasil with 4 harakat, and the mad arid lis sukun also with 4 harakat. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن
الرحيم.
قل يا أيها الكافرون. قل يا أيها الكافرون. لا أعبد ما تعبدون. لا أعبد ما تعبدون. ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد. ولا أنتم عابدون ما
أعبد.
ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم. ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم. ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد. ولا
أنتم عابدون ما أعبد.
لكم دينكم ولي دين. لكم دينكم ولي
دين.
Inshallah. Inshallah, barakallah fiik. So that's, as you can see, if we use 4 harakat, it's consistently, it's easier, like munfasil 4 harakat, 4 harakat, muttasil 4 harakat, mad arid lisukun 4 harakat. So it's more like beautiful if you read consistently, inshallah. And you don't need to really have a mix. Let's say if you have a mix, or you want arid lisukun 6, but muttasil maybe 5, you need to arrange or readjust your stretching of the mad. And just leave it. This one is mad badal. Mad badal, maybe I don't want to touch too detail, but essentially it's a mad that occur because the hamza is replaced with a mad. So like amanu, imana. It's originally in the Arabic word. It's amanu and itmana, but it's replaced, become a mad. That's just the process in the background under the hood. But it's in Shatibiyah, and you don't really need to know this in detail because it's two harakat. It's similar to mad asli anyway, unless you want to read in other uh, variations of recitation. Then yes, there are difference on how long, like how many harakats that you need to read. But in Hafs Shatibiyah, it's 2 harakats, so there's no big deal. And mad lazim, inshallah, we'll touch this next time. Mad lazim is six harakats. It's six harakats. So muttasil munfasil is mad followed by hamza, whether the hamza can be one word or different word. Mad arid lis sukun is mad followed by temporary sukun. But if it's a permanent sukun, then it's called mad lazim, six harakat. And we're going to touch this next time, inshallah. So that's just the summary that we touched today. Mad muttasil, the ruling name is wajib, as in all of the scholar of tajweed, they wajib to use to read with mad more than two harakat. Like in other variation, there are three harakat and others, but in Shatibiyah, four or five. Pick one. Four, inshallah, it's easier. And mad munfasil in Shatibiyah, same four or five. In other tariq, in other qiraat, you can do two harakat like inna a'tayna, but in Shatibiyah, four. So that's why if you follow one tariq, one Shatibiyah, in Shatibiyah, you don't really need to know which one is munfasil, muttasil, because at the end you would read the same anyway. You would read four harakat or five harakat anyway, so you don't really need to. If you don't want to get into that details, that is fine. And the mad arid lis sukun, 2, 4, or 6. Inshallah, 4 is easier. 6, if you have like Starmo have the lung capacities has over lung capacity, then you can read with 6. But yeah, normally you would read 4. If you want to read a little bit fast, like in hadar pace, a bit fast pace, then yeah, you can read two harakat, two harakat, two harakat, like Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, and so on. Even until the last ayah, same, like wala dhalin. Lean is two harakat, even if on the last ayat. So inshallah, that's the summary. Before we close, any other questions? I hope you can still follow. I hope you're still with us. Inshallah, I'll just take a note about the thought sign in the summary of Indo-Pak. Maybe I'll wait for 1 minute before we close. If you have any question regarding today's topic or previous topic, or even any other tajweed related, and just to let you know, the mad that we have covered is just the most of the common mad. We don't touch all of the mad details. Like there's a lot of things to be discussed in mad, but we're just touching the most common one. If you have any question, but feel free to drop your message in the chat or email, inshallah. Oh, inshallah, there's okay, that about the thought sign, according to one of brothers here gave to me an information that thought means absolute pause, like absolute pause. So that means you pause on that thought sign. Most of the time because of the meaning, because you if you don't stop there's a chance that you like break the meaning of that verse, for example. But I'll have a check. I'll double check, but that's according to um, information that I got is the thought sign means like absolute stop. It's similar to a meme sign in Medina script. Inshallah. And that's the rules of med. Next time, inshallah, we'll touch mad lazim, and then the types of mad lazim. What are the types of mad lazim? How to read mad lazim? If there's no, just double check here. Maybe there's question. No. Yep. Okay, alhamdulillah. Have no question, you can, if there's any further question, feel free to send it to us, email, WhatsApp, or in the group, or I think uh, you have my number for the brothers, and for sisters, you can send it to Sister Poppy, inshallah. And I hope through the learning of Tajweed, this would motivate us to recite even more, recite the Quran more, bring us like closer to the Quran, because inshallah in about 2 months. So today we are in the month of Rajab. After that, the month of Sha'ban. After that, inshallah, the month of Ramadan. And inshallah, if we have a target to khatam, to finish the entire Quran in Ramadan, we need to practice from now. Um, I I have a friend. He's like a new Muslim, and he received a Quran translation. Like I think that was his first Quran, and by the moment he received that Quran, he was asking me, how many days do I need to finish this Quran? So even at the first time, maybe, I don't know, maybe that could be his first time. That's his first Quran. He already has an intention that he wants to finish the Quran. That's that's a reminder for me, for all of us. Do we have any intention to read, to finish the Quran? That's just one brothers who are new to Muslim, like a bit new to Muslim. He has that, mashallah, he has that intention. Maybe we need to review our intention, to review our goals with it, especially if we want to complete that during the Ramadan. We need to practice from now. We need to prepare for now. If we want to prepare for a marathon, we don't just go by that date and just run marathon, but we need to learn to run from a shorter distance before we go that long distance marathon. Inshallah, that will be all for today's session. Alhamdulillah, may Allah accept our efforts today as good deeds that would helps us to enter His Jannah. Ameen. And anything which I have said that was wrong or incorrect, that was from Shaitan. And Allahu a'lam bis-shawab. Let us close with the dua of kafaratul majlis. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik asyhadu an la ilaha illa ant astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakallah khair Tad Bayu. Assalamualaikum.
Wa jazakallahu khair. Waalaikumsalam.